What's going on, guys? Get123 here with episode 43 of GTA 5 Talk, and today's topic was submitted by Jose Rivera, and he said, can you talk about crime, like if there will be more pedestrians getting into crime? Now, that was a top-rated comment with 6 thumbs up, so that is going to be the topic for today's video, except I'm going to expand upon that topic. We're not only going to be talking about pedestrians getting into crimes, but pedestrians just doing more realistic things in general, such as mowing their lawn, filling their car up with gasoline, and just reacting to things in a more realistic fashion. So, to start off this discussion, let's start off by talking about the pedestrians in GTA 4. As we all know, they were actually the most realistic to date. You know, they were better than any previous Grand Theft Auto, they were more interactive, they reacted more realistically, but there were still certain things wrong with them. Like, how about when I'm driving down the street in a tank and there's one lone pedestrian running down the middle of the street in a straight line just waiting for me to run them over? Like, come on, what is that? Or how about when you start relentlessly beating somebody up on the streets? People will either help or they'll either run away screaming in terror, but nobody would actually call the police. So the only time there's really a threat of police showing up was when you either called them yourself or you got caught doing something illegal. So what I want to see in GTA 5 is more realistic pedestrians. As Jose Rivera asked in his question, will there be more pedestrians getting into crime? I'd like to see that as well. I remember in the days of Grand Theft Auto 3, there would be random carjackers. For me, that was a very exciting thing happening, you know? Like, of course, yeah, it sucked if you were in a nice car, which is, you know, usually when it happened most, but if you were stopped at a light, someone would just run up to you, pull you out of your car, and drive away in it. And then it was kind of your challenge to hijack another car and get your own car back and then kill the guy who stole your car. That was like a very cool, not side mission, but just like side event, you know, something that happened randomly, but really added something cool to the game. Also, I think it would be really cool to see the occasional mugger on the street. You know, you see a guy kind of walking around looking shady, and then he goes up to a woman and rips her purse off of her. And then that's where, like, you know, maybe he gets an icon above his head and you're told to do something, and then you have to catch the guy and either contain him so he can't hurt anybody, or just maybe downright kill him, I don't know. And then that could have a reward. Not only would you get, like, the lady's money back and everything, but maybe you'd also get financial incentive for yourself. And then going back to normal pedestrians, forget about how they act, what about how they look? In GTA 4, their looks were pretty limited, you know? Once again, you had more pedestrian models than any previous game, but they were still kind of limited, and you would end up seeing tons of pedestrian clones. Sometimes you would even get 4 in the same area. I can't tell you how many fat Santa Claus bikers I've had chasing after me, and they all looked identical. Like, that got to be a little bit, like, mundane, you know? It was like, oh, there's just another one of those guys. And when there were too many in one area, it was kind of a disconnect from reality. So what I'd like to see Rockstar do is not only create more character models, but also like a mix and match system, where it's randomly generated and they'll take like a player torso, player legs, and a player face, and maybe like hats and hair. And then each of those random components are put together into one single pedestrian. And it's randomly generated, so you never really see the same pedestrian twice. Or, you know, you might, but not near as often as you would otherwise, because they're expanding the possibilities by, you know, tenfold by allowing random generation like that. You know, guys, I could go on and on with this, how I want pedestrians to be more real. You know, it would be cool for some of them to have concealed carry, where, you know, if you start attacking a good person on the street, usually when you attack somebody, only like the rough guys, like the bikers, are going to pull out a knife or a gun. But what about like a well-to-do businessman who has concealed carry, you know, strictly for the purpose of defending himself? Or how about simple things like pedestrians leaving houses, getting in their cars, getting in taxis, just things like that. There are so many ways that Rockstar can expand upon this and make pedestrians more realistic than ever. So, to ultimately answer today's topic question, I do think that pedestrians will be committing more crimes, hopefully things like carjackings, muggings, and even like robbing gas stations. You know, if you see a guy walk in with a ski mask on, hold up the store, and, you know, then you have the opportunity to stop him, and then you could take the money yourself, or maybe give it back to the store owner, or whatever. So many possibilities here. As I'm making this episode right now, I'm realizing why I like doing these so much, because, you know, as I'm talking into my microphone here, I'm actually thinking of things that I've never thought of before. You know, you guys are giving me your questions, and it's just putting new ideas in my head, and basically expanding on the possibilities that we know might be in the game, but you guys just get me thinking about things that I would not have thought of otherwise, so I thank you for that. So, also, thank you guys for watching today. Continue submitting your ideas for future GTA 5 Talk episodes, and tell me what you think about this episode in the comments below. With that, guys, I will see you next time. See ya.